want to start by thanking all ABIANS for the massive support you have given this government that you brought in 2 months ago. I cannot thank you enough, and it cannot be too much if I continue to thank you for all the support that you've been giving this government. One thing that you can take for granted is that this government is out to work for you, for your interest, to protect and secure you, to defend your business, and to defend your interest. And when I talk about your interest, I'm talking about the interest of the larger majority, not the interest of a tiny few. And as we do that, you will realize that an insignificant but noisy minority would continue to make noise. We did not expect less. Their style is to blackmail. First of all, they will appeal, and they will threaten, they will blackmail. But at the end of the day, what is most important to us is that 99.5% of ABIA people are happy. So if you have less than 1% of the people who were beneficiaries of the old order and who believe that things should be done the way they were being done before, I think we don't need to pay too much attention to them. And that's the reason why most times we just ignore all the people making noise. As they make noise, we'll continue to do our work. I'll just make a few statements, and as usual, I will hand the microphone over to the moderators so that I can hear from you, because this is supposed to be a dialogue and not a monologue. In the area of health, which is one area we declared an emergency on the 29th day of May, 2023. I'm glad to report that we continue to make progress. We are not where we want to be, but we definitely are on the way. We have continued to make impact in the health sector. A few weeks ago, less than 2 weeks ago, we flagged off the Project Ekweme 200 primary health care center renovation, retrofitting, rebuilding, as the case may be, spread over the 184 wards in the state. So no one was left behind. It is expected that the 200 primary health care centers will be delivered within 100 days. Interestingly, even before we flagged off, some of the health centers had already started receiving attention. One of the coordinators that we set up told me yesterday that 5 in one of the senatorials and 5 primary health care centers are already ready for commissioning. So, and I was very glad. Those contractors, I commend them. I understand they started working with their money until the government came in to refund them. So I'm glad that we have 5 in ABIA Central ready for commissioning at the moment. But then we still have another 195 that are receiving attention at different levels. The total budgetary allocation for the 200 health center is in excess of 10 billion. And I'm happy to report that that 10 billion is sitting in the account of Ministry of Health. So anyone that is ready, we are going to pay them because the money is there. That's about the primary health care centers. We are at the final stages of awarding contracts for the renovation and retrofitting of the 22 secondary healthcare centers, general hospitals. There are some of them that are in very terrible states of disrepair. Umunato, Okipe, the one in Obingwa, the one in Okualangwa, the one in Arochuku. And a few, some of them are already receiving attention. And I think about 4 of them at the moment, Okipe, Obingwa, on Hafia, and one other is already ready for procurement. So in the next 1 week, I'm sure we will award those contracts because we believe that health is wealth. The tertiary health institution, ABIA State University Teaching Hospital, is already up and running. Accreditation has been restored, and the regulatory authorities have also increased the number of the admissions that can be done within the university. So things are going well, but we are not at the level where we want to be yet. So we are still working to ensure that we get to the target that we have set for ourselves. Schools of midwifery, school of nursing, and also schools. I think there are about 3 or 4 of them. One in Amachara, one in Umunato, School of Health Technology in Aba. All those have been provided for in the 2025 budget. If my recollection is correct, we have about 16.6 billion provided for in the current year budget to bring them all up to standard. And we must complete that this year so that we'll be able to train our nurses, our healthcare professionals. It is a major area of need. And the major challenge is that as you train people, a lot of them vote with their feet. Somebody you see today, tomorrow he's in Dubai or in India or in Abu Dhabi or in some of those places. Even the UK have been taking a lot of our medical personnel, but we wouldn't be discouraged by that. We will continue churning out our people who are interested. There are also a lot of people who are interested in remaining here at home. So we wouldn't, because people are Japan, refuse to commit the resources that is required. Somehow it is also a blessing in disguise, because as they take off, they get better rewarded and they remit money home. And that's why at the last count, I understand about $23 billion is remitted every year from our brothers and sisters who live abroad. So if we get to the level where we're exporting experts to generate foreign currency, why not? So all we need to is to encourage our people to go to those schools, and those schools must be standard. And that's why we've committed over 16 billion for this budget to ensure that our people are properly trained. Our medical missions are going on well. The revived team from Belgium is here. At the last count, they have conducted close to 100 surgeries, major surgeries, and have done over 800 consultations. They are still here, I believe, till the weekend. Quite a number of people, Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike, came here in the last 10 days to attend to us. They were here last year on the invitation of a gentleman from Omuahia here, and when I saw what they did, I applied for them to come again this year, and they came on their own. We provided some of the logistic support, and they are close to 50 and doing very well. We also had, as a government, supported our people by introducing free medical care in the first 7 months of our administration. And a lot of our people benefited from it. So for us as a government, we are very, very serious about healthcare delivery system. And whatever it takes to ensure that anyone who has a medical challenge should get adequate care in the state. Going to education is an area that we also declared an emergency on May 29, 2023. And we'll continue to push the levers. Again, the journey is far, but we are making progress. In terms of primary and secondary education, you're all aware that from the beginning of this month, no one pays school fees anymore. And in addition, it becomes compulsory for people to bring out their children to go to school. So our law is such that if you deny a child the opportunity to go to school, it's a criminal offense. And we set up task forces that are implementing that. To our, let me not say to our surprise, but to our happiness, we've seen an explosion in enrollment. And that is why we quickly lifted the ban on recruitment. And we are in the first instance recruiting over 2,000 teachers. Application portal has been opened and we're encouraging people to apply. Last year, we increased the retirement age for teachers to 65. We are even considering moving it up to 70 if you have good health. And also introduce a discriminatory compensation package for teachers. And for every school, an impressed account is approved and is made available to the heads of schools to run the schools, so that nobody that will come up with an excuse to collect PTA or levies or school fees is being outlawed, and anybody that does that will face the full wrath of the law. So when we say education is free, it's free and free. And when we say it is compulsory, it is also compulsory. I'm happy that our people are responding positively and bringing out their children and enrolling. It becomes our business how we ensure that the schools have adequate facilities and adequate teachers, and that is what we are working around the clock to do. And besides the recruitments, we have also started an intensive training and retraining of the existing teachers. And a lot of them have benefited, and some of them that have benefited have also become trainers themselves, so that because we're interested in what our children are being taught and who is teaching them and what does the person teaching them know. You cannot give what you don't have. So we are very passionate about learning here, because just think of yourself. There's nothing you do today that you did not learn. And if you learned the wrong thing, of course, you'll be doing the wrong thing. In terms of tertiary education, we are paying attention to both the ABIA State University, whose governing council we have just inaugurated, and the white paper of the visitation panel we also released and we are implementing. And part of the recommendation which we agreed with to move some of the different campuses in different places back to Utru, which has space. I think the one in Umuahia has started moving. I understand the Faculty of Law is still conducting exams that will end next month. And by the time that happens, they would relocate back to Utru, so that we have a university community that is a proper university community, where the university will pass through people, students, and the students will pass through the university. We have also committed resources to ensuring that the movement will be seamless in terms of facilities where students will use for classrooms and residents. And of course, the teachers also will have their quarters. We believe we can do it, and we have already put that in the budget and started work. Arochukwu College of Education, our ABIA State College of Education Technical, Arochukwu. It's a place with a lot of potentials, large grounds, but a place that has been underutilized and abandoned, with enrollment falling to an all-time low of just about 150 students or thereabout, and teachers also about that number. So you agree with me that is a big joke. We have already started working on it, ensuring that all the facilities are in place, securing the place. We have already awarded contract to fence the school around, protect the students and the properties and teachers. We are also working on ensuring that there is good water and there is electricity in the place. Then the curricula, the teaching staff, and of course, finally the students. We are also going to work on that to ensure that we have a proper college of education where teachers will be trained. It's not going to be an easy one. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we are single-minded about it. In fact, even yesterday, about this time, I was sitting with the Honorable Commissioner for Tertiary Education and that team, and we set up a committee that will work with the university. In terms of infrastructure, we continue to be focused because it is an area where we lagged behind for several decades. And there are no amount of roads that we will build that will be enough. But we are taking them one step at a time, knowing that Rome was not built in a day. A lot of the roads we had flagged off had been completed. Some of them have been commissioned. Others are waiting to be commissioned. But as that is going on, we'll continue to flag off roads. I'm just coming from Obureni, where we flagged off a 13.95 kilometer road from Obureni, from Onuenyang through Obureni to Oboro, Iguano, 2 sections. It was very, very interesting to see virtually everybody in those communities pour out for the flag off today. And it was also interesting to listen to their stories, where I was told that the last time something like a road was done around that axis was under Dr. M.I. Opara. And these are communities for which we are known for producing cocoa, rice, and things like that. So we have not only given them a voice and access, but we have also made their economic life better, because by the time we are done in another 6 months with those roads, it becomes easy to evacuate their produce to the townships. And of course, a new lease of life becomes possible in those places. So I was very happy to see old women, old men, traditional rulers, students, everybody pour out in their numbers to celebrate the construction of access road to those different communities spanning 2 senatorial zones of Bende. I mean, Abia North and Abia Central. By next week, we will also be flagging off the Omenoko Bridge, somewhere around our back. Those who are old enough will know the story of Omenoko Bridge. This place had been a death trap in the last couple of decades. I understand the family lost every child on that axis, on that bridge some time ago. So work has already started, and we will just flag up the bridge and the route by next Tuesday. I believe that by the time we do that, we would have flagged off 6 out of the 9 roads we awarded last month. And of course, a lot of other roads that have made it into the 2025 budget will also be flagged off. The interesting thing for us, sometimes people struggle to understand how we are doing it, but for us, the most important thing is that you have to focus on what you need. We are not in competition with anybody. We believe that we have been shortchanged in terms of access. And whatever it takes, we must give our people access. By the time we are done with that, when somebody else comes, he can focus on other things. That is how society is grown. In terms of security, we continue to do whatever is possible to ensure that our people sleep with their 2 eyes closed. It's not been easy, but then we are prepared to keep awake so that you can sleep well. Today, I had handed over 5 APCs. These APCs stands for, you know what it stands for? Armored Personnel Carriers. That is the APCs we are talking about. And they are not brand new, but they were abandoned for several years, some of them decades. But if you know these rugged equipment, they don't die. But then if you abandon them, they abandon you. And so we picked them up, retrofitted them, cost a lot of money, but we were able to fix all of them. And some of them we had to change the engines completely. And interestingly, they are all back to life. And we've handed them over to the police today to ensure that they are better equipped to respond to aggression and threats. And we will continue to do everything possible to ensure that this place is safe. We're happy that during this past season of Christmas and New Year, our state was relatively safe, and all the hotels in Aba and Omuahia were completely full. And we had a lot of people coming from the diaspora. Some of them extended their stay, some are still around. That's what it's about, that our people come and feel safe. Our government is determined, whatever it takes. Sometimes when we apprehend some of the people who thought they were invincible, like one of them we apprehended in Lagos, swore that this governor does automobile. He thought his native doctors were very strong, and he was on his way to Turkey when we nabbed him. And he said to God, this governor, his own native doctor is stronger than mine. But it's all intelligence, and we will continue to do whatever we can to ensure that this place is safe. And I call upon everyone to be the chief security officer of your own little environment, wherever you are. Be vigilant. Suspicious movements, report them immediately. Don't be afraid. There is no way criminals will lord it over you. So feel free to report any suspicious character, and we will take them on. We continue to also discourage our young people from illicit substances, because that's another area that encourages crime. So, or even if you suspect or see somebody involved in drugs, please just let the security agencies or anybody in government know, and we'll take it off. We have zero tolerance for it. We continue to also work to ensure that our people are gainfully engaged. I've always said it, that when you gainfully engage a lot of people, they will become unavailable for crime and criminality. It is an economic truism. There is nothing you can do about it. The saying that an idle mind is the devil's workshop is very, very true. So some of the things we are doing are geared towards creating an enabling environment for our people's businesses. And luckily, our people are business-minded and they are entrepreneurs. So all they require is an enabling environment to do what they know how to do best. So we'll continue to do that. In the area of waste management, we have continued to do our best to keep our place clean. I think having gone as far as we've gone in the last 20 months, we've now got to that level where we want to go to the point of waste management, proper treatment and conversion of the waste to wealth. We are at the point where we are taking proposals and we are going through them to determine who and who will partner with, so that all the rubbish we are cutting away can be converted into useful outcomes, like generation of power and things in that nature, of that nature. So that is the next stage. But suffice it to say that the ABIA State Environmental Protection Agency has done very well, and I'm happy and proud that our members of that team are putting in their best and working around the clock to ensure that we are no longer described as the dirtiest state in Nigeria. I think somebody says that we are now in the category of the cleanest state. It's not yet Uhuru. We are not celebrating yet. We will probably not celebrate because the reward work is more work. So I use this opportunity to call on my colleagues who are involved in cleaning our environment to even do more. I believe that I have touched a lot of areas, and I want to stop here and hand the microphone over to the moderators and the anchors so that we can take your questions. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you once more for listening. Thank you for attending. Thank you for supporting this government, and wish you well. Thank you very much.